Brought to you by Penguin.
The North Pole by Erling Kagge. Read by Atle Gunnarsson. Forward. When my friend Børge Osland and I reached the North Pole on 4th of May 1990, we were the first people to reach it on skis, without dogs, depots, and motorized aids. For 58 days, we had skied alone. Sometimes we talked, but more often we silently got up early each day and put one foot in front of the other. For years, I was convinced that the most important thing about the North Pole was to get there on skis, to win a race, to set a record. Our preparations took over 2 years, and during that time I thought only of one thing: to reach the North Pole. It might sound strange, but it was like a love affair. I thought of it as soon as I woke in the morning, throughout the day, and when I went to bed at night. I read and memorized, I skied whenever there was snow, and when there was no snow, I roller skied, dragging tractor tires behind me. "I'll see you back here in 2 days," the pilot said matter-of-factly, as we landed by the ice edge on the north side of Ellesmere Island, Canada's northernmost island, on 8th of March the same year. The aeroplane thermometer read -52 degrees Celsius. After 15 years of flying in the Canadian Arctic, the pilot was used to seeing expeditions sputter out and come to nothing. It was early afternoon, and the sun was already setting to the south-southwest as we dragged our pulks, a Nordic type of sledge pulled by skiers, from the plane. In the low sunlight, we looked north into the darkness, towards the pack ice. Some 770 kilometers ahead of us, at the North Pole, the sun had not risen for a full 6 months. The sun emitted no warmth. In early March, temperatures remain more or less the same, whether the sun shines or not. Even when the sky is petrol blue, the sun is so low and the light so weak that you barely cast a shadow. It is so cold that any particle carrying smell, bacteria, pollution, precipitation, or moisture quickly turns to ice. But to my surprise, I suddenly caught the scent of flowers. For a moment, I was baffled before I realized that Patricia, the co-pilot, had sprayed on some perfume. The smell took off with the plane, leaving nothing but the cold. The pulks carried everything we thought we'd need: 60 days' worth of dried meat, oats, fat, chocolate, and formula milk, as well as enough camping gas to fuel our Primus stove for 70 days. We didn't know how many days the expedition might last, and in case we ran out of food, the plan was to have enough fuel to melt ice and survive the last stretch by drinking water alone. Each pulk weighed 120 kilos. In addition to our sleeping bags, we had a double sleeping bag so we could sleep together to conserve heat, camping mats, the stove, maps, a tent, 1,256 grams of tools, and, in case of a polar bear attack, 2 Smith & Wesson .44 Magnum revolvers. As we would find out, nothing had been packed in vain. It was only when we finally reached the North Pole 58 days after smelling Patricia's floral perfume that I realized I'd been wrong about the North Pole. My years of obsession were not with the pole itself, but with overcoming danger, pain, cold, and hunger. The North Pole is the navel of the world. All humanity, the oceans, land mass, and continents turn almost imperceptibly around this single fixed point. When you look up at the night sky in the northern hemisphere, at the sea of stars, you can see that not only our planet, but all the stars move in a circle around the top of the world, with one exception: the North Star. Due to its position, the history of the North Pole is different from the history of every other place on Earth. The more I see, read, and learn about this place, the clearer it seems that the history of the North Pole is the story of our ongoing relationship with nature.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?